Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are for the inaugural, the #1 Forced Conversation podcast with my main man, my partner in crime, pun intended. Brother, introduce yourself.
Well played, Gideon, and thanks for having me, man. Couldn't be more excited to be part of this inaugural podcast here. My name is Gangster KT, and really appreciate you having me. Just wanted to say when I started content creation at first, I think it was like my first or second video. You commented on that, and I saw you and started checking out your videos, and just absolutely love what you do. Love your perspective on the game and some of the theory out there. So just looking forward to hanging out for a little bit, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, you flattering. That's flattering, my guy. That's flattering. No, the same deal, brother. Much respect, because when I saw what you were doing, the explanation of things, really how to get the best out of each character, who to invest in, who not to invest in, I'm like, man, this dude gets it. If I pay attention, I might learn something.
I hope so. Try to share some things, and my head works in funny ways, man. But that's what I love most about the game. It's just really trying to min max, and it can be a chore sometimes, and maybe you don't enjoy the play style of the game as much because of just that drive to always optimize. But that's what I get the most out of and really enjoy with it. So glad to hear that's coming across.
Hey, definitely, my man. Definitely. On that train of thought, we'll start out with our first topic. We're getting in deep right away. Dark Dimension 6. How should I build? How should I prepare as somebody who's trying to get into the game?
Yes, sir. So that is a very timely and great question. Dark Dimension 6 is here. I think most of us, myself included, are still in building for big boy apocalypse mode. But I know we're starting to hit the point, or at least some people, where we have all the gear for that. And maybe it's just a function of Blue ISO 5 now. And so from a gear standpoint, it is appropriate to be looking at DD6. There's no question. And I think there's going to be a point in a few months where, especially if you're really trying to push like high-end Crucible, it's going to kind of be a have and a have-nots. There's going to be a level of people that have Super Scroll, and then, to get up to that level, you need to get them because with only 6 teams in Crucible or 6 rooms, one character can really make that big of a difference. So I think it's a great question. It is the right time, and let's start talking about that theory a little bit.
Man, I didn't even think about that, bro. Super Scroll, like that didn't even come to my mind. You're like, yeah, man, it's only 6 rooms, bro. So
yep,
if you get him, it's going to be an advantage.
I really do think it's going to be, maybe a period where like the top 1,000 people all have them, and your ceiling is whatever that last place is below who has them. And Apocalypse, I don't think was like that as much, and that's just because the baby Apocalypse really can put together some teams to counter the big boy. So the big boy Apocalypse is still helpful, but I don't think it's quite the game changer in Crucible because of how he was rolled out that Super Scroll is going to be. So great time to think about it. And one question I have on my mind for you, Gideon, is when this planning, I've heard 2 different trains of thoughts, and I get in discussions about this a lot, but one is you have to go in order. I don't have these memorized, but I think for DD6, it's global as the first node. So, you need to get your 5 global tunes first. Some people say wait till you have all 5 before you gear any of them up. But it sounds like you're just getting started. But what right now is kind of your overall approach to that, if you have one? And no problem if you don't.
Let's take a look real quick. Let me see here if we can get this working. Hopefully we don't have any ridiculous technical difficulties.
It's the inaugural, man. There's got to be something.
Oh, if I can find it. All right. So essentially what I have is, like you were saying, I'm nearing the end of, I forgot to bring it up, so I can't show you. But essentially I got 2 characters left. I have 2 characters left as far as the Def Seed team is concerned. And when that happens, when I get those last 2, I'll be wide open for gear. Right, I have all the gear in place for my big boy Apocalypse. So for me, if up until you and I were just talking about it, it wasn't even something that was on my mind. I was like, Dark Dimension 6 is so far away, I'll never get to it. But really, it's right around the corner. So I'm still thinking, for me, what'll probably happen is I'll put together those last 2 cats, and then I'll probably just start working on my arena team and just wait, because the gear is still pretty hard to get. I'll just start working on my arena team and try to wait for that breakover point. Right, it happens for us all the different pieces, or different places, I should say. That breakover point, that when it starts getting a little bit easier for me to control what gear I get, then I can push. I'll make it happen. I'll get in there, and hopefully it won't be 6 months from now.
Hopefully. I don't know if I'd hold your breath there though, but 6 months may be a realistic time frame at this point, but we'll see. So that's one of the things that's so challenging, and of course Scopely does this on purpose. But right now, the only places to get T18 gear, I mean, there's the elite raid orbs, which is great. Depending on your raid level, you get kind of a steady small flow from those. But for me, the main place I'm getting them is the supply store, and that's a balance with gold. And I know we're going to talk about gold a little later, so won't get into that part of it. But you can also get them from like the really, top 1 to 500 leaderboards on some of the milestones. But I don't play in that space normally, unless they're just one I'm really trying to push. I love top 1 to 5% range usually, but not those very top spots. So it's just so hard to get that gear. And I think right now, to look at this, how should I build? I'm really looking at Dark Dimension 6, more about the T18 gear than I am actually about Super Scroll. And I know he's so important, like I just mentioned in Crucible, but if we compare this to Dark Dimension 5, that took T16 gear, right? And the T16 tier gear upgrade was about a 10% stat increase on your team. So that's valuable. There's no question. But these T18 upgrades are closer to like a 35% stat increase on the team. So my strategy for this is a little different than in previous Dark Dimensions because of how important that gear is on your characters for Crucible matches, for war matches. You can't swim with the Krakens that have T18 if you don't have it. That 35% is just too big. So I'm really prioritizing. I'm building characters I'm going to use in Dark Dimension 6, but I'm building the ones that I use in the other game modes the most. So sure, I'd like to have my globals done first, and I definitely don't want to be waiting. I don't want my global to be my last team. I do take order into account, but Red Hawk was the first character I did just because, one, he's my favorite, but I'm just using him still everywhere and think he's one of the best, using him in arena. And so I'm really going to find the places where I can get that value from the gear upgrade as I'm still building for DD6, but it's more about the gear for me right now and that huge power increase than actually like that end game.
So slight little caveat, just because you said it. How's that Gear 18 Red Hawk working out?
I love them. So it's actually been huge. I was winning. I used my Gamma in War on the Gamma Mirror match, and I took a lot of time about 6 months ago to really figure out that fight and did a video on it. But I win that fight almost every time anyways. But where I've noticed it the most is in arena. Because, there's those times where you can like get your Red Hawk and then Kang following up to wipe out maybe their Red Hawk, their Morgan off the start. And that extra power on him when he opens gets those characters low enough to where I'm doing that a lot more frequently. So it has made arena a little more reliable, which is definitely nice. But it's more just kind of bragging rights. He's my favorite. I wanted to do him. I do plan on using him in DD6, even though, the legendary horsemen maybe aren't mandatory. But from how hard those nodes look, it sounds like they might be. So we'll see how it works. He's the only one. Nova's going to be my next when I get that bio gear up. I'm going to focus on Quicksilver first for Mystic. But again, I'm really doing the characters, not caring about the order as much, but that I think will give me the most bang for my buck in other game modes. And it's different than any time in the past because of how big that T18 upgrade is, in my opinion. Others don't agree with me, but that's just my humble opinion there.
Hey, I'm jealous, and I got to be honest. If anybody, you're definitely a cat to listen to on that matter. Definitely a cat to listen to. Hey, and if you're just joining us, if you're coming in on the chat, feel free, drop in some comments, drop in some questions. We'll see if we can go ahead and get them live on air.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to get some people chiming in and hear what they think, asking us questions and going there. But if you don't mind if I pause for a second, Gideon, there's one thing that I've just been dying to ask you ever since we started talking about doing this. So I can't wait any longer. I know it's not one of our canned subjects, but you had some videos a while ago. I think it was when Kang came out. May have the character wrong, but there was a lot of blitzing at the time. and I turn to your channel, and you're sitting here doing push-ups every few hours on the channel. So what's the story behind that?
Oh man, bro. So some of it's just experimenting with YouTube, right? Didn't know. Others, I kind of push back a little bit against some. There's a lot of people that are upset about the game a lot of times, and the negative seems to rise to the top. So I was trying to do something positive. Since we're going to be blitzing, I set my timer for every 2 hours. Do something. Might as well do some push-ups, right? Get some fitness involved. It's important. Right. People have these stereotypes about the gamer life that you just eat Cheetos and sit on the couch all the time. So you gotta, as grown men, right? If you have a hobby like this, it's okay to enjoy your hobby, but at the same time, you got to stay active, stay in shape. So I thought that would be a good way to kind of promote some of that. That's how I planned on doing. I had planned on doing that a lot more, to be completely honest. Just part of I don't know what you call it, like I want to say regimented, but that's not the right word. But that's how you get things done as an adult, right? You have a schedule. Yeah. So if I have a schedule and I'm going to blitz, then I would do my push-ups. And then for me, what I would do is I would put the phone down and I wouldn't touch it for 2 hours. So nice. I would have tasks and other stuff around the house, and I was just trying to encourage that type of thing. I think I deleted or unlisted most of them because it was kind of messing with the YouTube algorithm. I was getting fitness people that weren't interested in Marvel Strike Force. So, and they were blaming me about my form. They were like, your butt's sticking up. You got to keep your butt down. But that's Kizzy back there. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Baby doing her thing.
It's great. I think we've had 2 people join us here. Your dog, who's very welcome, and then see a shout out here from Jack Reacher Jedi. So thanks for joining us, man.
Oh, man. Jack's on. Jack is on. Bam! There he is. That's my man, Jack. He's in the alliance. He's a good dude, man.
Well, good.
He's a good cat. 100%. But yeah, man, that's basically the story behind the blitz. We discontinued it because it was messing with the algorithm a little bit, but you know what? We still get it in. Don't worry. We still get it in.
Well, I loved it. I've heard you talk about, just wellness and the importance of those things in other videos. And next time you do it, I'm going to join you. Now, I probably won't have the same count as you, but I think that's a great motivation to set the phone down every 2 hours and do something good for yourself there. So I love it.
100%. We got a comment here. We got a comment here from Harrison.
Harrison.
You know Harrison?
Don't recognize that name. Maybe a different name or some of my alliance, but love having the joiner here.
He says, what are your guys' thoughts on the Bifrost team? I'm debating between getting them geared or the Darkhold team. That's my boy. It's Dr. Cringe. I didn't read the whole thing. Dr. Cringe. He's also in the alliance. What's up, man? What's up?
What's going on, Dr. Cringe? That's a heck of a question right there, and a tough decision. No question.
Man, biasly, I want to say, brother, you need to work on that Bifrost team, but I'm going to say it kind of depends on what you have going. Like if you have gotten to the point where, this is just my opinion. It's just my opinion. And KT could probably definitely have some good to say about it. If you are at the point now where you're kind of free to build who you want, you don't have to prioritize building for like arena or raid specifically. You know what I mean? If there's not a certain game mode, you have to have this to get this done. Because I know we're starting to move into the Doom raids. I mean, I'm going to assume that the Darkhold team can crush Doom 1. I'm going to assume that for the 3 lanes that it has. So you're finding more enjoyment. If that team is more enjoyable for you, you got to have fun. You're not under any pressure. I would go ahead and pick the one that you want. KT, I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, Gideon. I'd say unless you're really pushing the incursion raids right now and trying to, maybe do 1.5, 1.6 in Mystic, the Bifrost team are more of a nice to have. They're very good. I think Ball is one of the best characters in the game and definitely someone to build huge. But if you care about Crucible and War, Darkhold, even though they're a year-old team, I still feel like they're like the best Crucible defense when you throw Quicksilver with them or APOC, you know, one of those other meta tunes. And just the way that their kits function with the healing, with the stealth, with Wong taunting and how sustainable he is, I don't think they're going around anytime soon. So if you care about Crucible more, I think Darkhold is still the way to go there. And to Gideon's point, you can use some of those characters, maybe with Eternals, maybe with Spider Weaver, to still get through a lot of the Mystic Raid nodes until you get up to those high-end Incursion, at which point Bifrost is needed.
100%. 100% agreed. Let's see. Should we take one more? We'll take one more from the audience, and we'll jump back on to the main theme. We got Jack again. He's asking, are you guys as sick of blitzing as I am?
Yes. 100%. I don't know how sick of it you are, Jack, but yes. I was at one of my good friends' surprise 40th birthday parties today, and as we're waiting for him to show up with his buddies in the car, my wife's next to me and just elbows me and yells at me because I'm sitting there trying to squeeze in a few more blitzes like at this party. Like, it's such a sickness. And just I want Beta Ray Bill. I'm close to 5 stars, so I've been blitzing every second I can, and I'm so sick of it. And I put it way above things I should in my life, and that's just silly. So yes, is the very long answer there.
Well, you know, Gideon loves blitzing. Gideon loves blitzing, so he's not sick. He's not sick of it, but he gets it. Gideon understands. No, same deal. Super busy this weekend. Super busy. I unlocked him on the main account. I'm assuming that I'm going to unlock him on the baby account. I haven't had a chance to open the orbs because I've been so busy. So 5-star, that's impressive. We're going to find out where I get out. I want to get that. I want to get him to 5, and I think that's cool that free to play you can do that with the grind. But yeah, I'm not tired of blitzing, man, because I love blitzing. Weird as it sounds.
I don't know, Gideon. I'm just getting to know you, but that's a huge red flag. I just can't comprehend anyone that loves blitzing. So more power to you, buddy.
Oh man. Well, maybe that can bring us to our next topic here: the quality of life in the game. There's been a lot that's happened over the course of the past year, perhaps. A lot of good, a lot of bad. So KT, how are you feeling about the game right now?
Yeah, so overall with the game, I'm very optimistic. I think some of the directions with the MSF players' voice and some of the things they've been able to gain, some of the changes we've seen recently from Scopely, where I think they felt it in their wallet and they're kind of floundering on what to do and how to right the ship, and so they're listening. You know, the auto blitzing was huge. There's just been a lot of great improvements. The automatically being able to collect like the milestone rewards, that saves a lot of button clicks. I'll say right now, one thing, it's not the biggest deal, but it's just kind of like a pet peeve driving me nuts. I'm so sick of all their like in-game advertisements. So the two things I'll say, like when you try and grind a piece of ISO or a piece of Mystic Gear, you have to sit there and side scroll on your phone through like 20 different offers to buy an ISO like that no one's going to buy. It's going to sound stupid, but it actually got to the point where my thumb was hurting one time from that. I kind of had to change like how I was holding my phone, and just so annoying. And then same thing with the web store, you know, like I hate having to go there, but you can't pass up all those rewards. But then when you click on the free daily claim that they basically make you go to their website and do, you get a pop-up ad. And it's just like, come on. So again, not a huge deal. They've been making great change. So I'm very optimistic about the direction right now. But just some of these greed things just seem like over the top greed and so unnecessary. And I can't imagine they're getting actually any revenue out of it. So I wish they'd reduce some of that, make a little more player friendly there. But overall, very optimistic.
Awesome, man. Awesome. It's good. It's good.
You got any pet peeves in the game right now or anything driving you nuts?
I think things overall are better for me. I'm definitely enjoying the game a lot more. There was kind of a time, like you said, like right when the player's voice thing was just kind of starting, it just seemed like the game was kind of in a weird spot. You know, you would go to an event and you're not 100% sure what you're supposed to do. It seems straightforward. You're like, oh, well, I'm supposed to, do raids. And then you're like, well, it wants me to do 37 raids. Like, I can't do 37 raids. So how am I supposed to do this? And there wasn't much explanation. uh, all the way back to, just one negative point. It goes all the way back to Agent Venom. So I didn't unlock him. And that was the first time. I've been playing since the beginning. That was the first time playing Marvel Strike Force that I was not able to unlock a character free to play.
Ooh, it's a bitter pill.
Yeah, I was like, man, what is going on? You know? So I was going to keep playing the game regardless. But I was just like, it kind of was one of those things where I think a lot of people, you just kind of like, okay, well, that's how it's going to be. I'm still going to play, but, you know, there's no point in going hard if they're going to make it so I can't even unlock the character.
Yeah.
You know? So I think those are some points that have been addressed. It looks like it's easier to unlock their characters. I like how they're kind of doing it now, where let you unlock it 3 stars, and you can pay money, or you can super grind maybe to get that 4 or 5 stars. And the difference between that 4 and 5 star, that 5 and 6 star character is they showed with the Horseman is substantial. Actually feels like something, but at least they made it so the regular person can unlock the character, and I thought that's a good thing. That's how I want it to be.
Well, good. Yeah, I agree. And it's different, but it's interesting. You know, there's, like you said, a little fewer shards kind of with the initial release, but then they're going into those strike passes very quickly. They're going into just, you know, maybe other tune release rewards where you can get a random 10 shards here and there. So it's been a little change, but it doesn't feel bad. It feels like there are still opportunities to get these guys free to play and build them up. So again, I think that direction's been kind of positive overall.
Agreed. We got a small question from Not Ugly.
So funny. I read that so many times and kept saying like Natugal, but I think you're exactly right. It's a handsome guy right there.
Did you guys get the cape for the event? I'm not even sure.
I did. I got it yesterday after a ridiculous amount of blitzing all weekend. And one of those things I almost feel like you need to get because of how critical Vol is. And it's, I think, 80,000 points for that Vol milestone. So very critical piece to get, but it was painful.
So we have a correction. I was mistaken. It is no Tuggle. Like Jesse Tuggle? Like the football player?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't even know if I got it, man. I've been busy. I don't even know if I got it. So hopefully the event has not expired.
So you have one more day. So about 24 hours from now. So check that out, and definitely a good one to get if you can push for it.
Awesome. Kate, did you have another thought that you wanted to share? Or should we continue?
Yeah, I think with the quality of life, I got most of my gripes out there. So appreciate having the forum to complain about some of those things. And but again, I think it is important. You know, we had a period where like we were seeing a lot of content creators quit. Just felt like we were getting bad news with the game day in and day out. And it's early, but it feels different. Like I'm really enjoying these events more now without the hoarding. They felt like a huge headache earlier. I just struggled to even get my mind around them. But it feels like that's getting a little better. So very optimistic right now and enjoying the game more than I have in a while.
Awesome. Yes, man. Jesse Tucker. Oh, let's see. What else do we have? What else do we want to get into? Did you want to have a point that you wanted to share, or should we continue with the main topics?
Tell you what, if you don't mind, there was one question up above I thought we'd touch on because I thought it was interesting from Tyler. He said he's been out of the game for a couple of years and prepping for DD5 and what are the best characters to start building. And I'll say it's going to be tough with starting to plan for DD6. I don't remember specifically. The 3 you mentioned there are great. Cloak and Dagger are so valuable on that new Warriors team right now and important characters to have big. And they are definitely all-stars in that city node of DD5. Shang-Chi's another great one there for city, which is really one of the hardest ones to build for. And then I think, at this point, maybe worth pivoting to new Spider-Man Big Time as one of your city characters as well. He should be useful in DD6 too. He's a great war defense tune, which maybe is not important, but being a new character, I think he'll probably have use everywhere within the game. To be determined, but he may be another good one to start building for that city.
Good picks, brother. Good picks. And Tyler, I don't know if you have access. I mean, I don't know when you started. If you started fairly recently, do you have VOD? Is you still probably have an opportunity to snatch them up. They've been doing big. I don't know about 5 yet. Haven't been able to work my way into 5. Definitely helped on 3. That was auto with mostly just that character. So Doctor mentioned 5. Yeah, I'd have to look. Man. You should probably either hit KT up or myself on Discord. We'll figure it out, man. Put a screenshot up there. We'll get it figured out. Figure out what you can use.
And I think one just high level advice, Tyler, and probably pretty obvious, but there's a decent amount of DD6 planning videos out right now, and it's the same origins. So I'd just build who those are recommending. They should be the best in DD5 as well. And then they're going to be the newer meta characters that you can take to the next DD6 when you're ready for it. So I don't have that list memorized in my head, but I'd focus on these newer characters if you have them. And really that advice for DD6 should be probably the best advice out there for DD5 now as well.
Excellent point. Very sound. Very sound. No Tuggle says Rebirth is good.
I believe it. A lot of sustainability. Anti-venom, if you can just stack up some debuffs on one character, then uses ult, you can probably wipe out 10 guys at once. So I'd actually believe that they can do pretty well there.
Solid. We had, let's see, I don't know how we're doing on time. It's going to be up to you. We'll go for a little bit longer, maybe.
Yeah, I'm good, bud.
We'll talk briefly here about the Incursion Raid in the teams that we could use. Now, once again, I might have a little bit of technical difficulties. Hold on. We're going to have a video here. I believe this here is 1.4. And this, let me minimize it real quick. So this is SeggsyJexy. Okay. So these cats are a little bit more big time. A little bit more big. Let me go ahead and subscribe to that content right there. So that's 1.4. We're just going to go ahead and let it play in the background while we talk. Now I should enlarge it again.
Yeah, and this is node he's doing is my single biggest enemy right now. So this is probably great learning from watching this and great background as we talk through it. Man, I just wanted to give a shout out. Looks like you have quite a few of your Alliance buddies in here with you. So kudos to you guys for showing up and supporting Gideon. That's awesome to see.
100% appreciate the love, brothers. I didn't know it was going to come through like that. Appreciate y'all. 100%, man. So make sure you guys go over there and subscribe to KT for sure. We're going to go ahead and link in the description if you hadn't done it already. But yeah, man. So here's his intel right there. So make sure you get over there and subscribe to KT. But yeah, so where are you guys at in Incursion?
Yeah, so we just last week pushed and got to 80% on 1.2. So we started doing 1.3 for the past week. We've been hitting the 60% every day. We definitely have some work to do. You got to get 90% to push 1.3 to get to 1.4. And as everyone knows, that difference between 80 and 90% is a lot of tech nodes. So I was talking to our alliance leader, we don't like to mandate things. We like to keep it casual in our alliance, low key, but it almost feels like we're either going to have to kind of force people to work on tech raid tunes to be able to push further or wait until a new tech raid team. Which could be next patch or could be in 6 months, which sounds way too long to wait. So still kind of figuring out what we're going to do, but we are at 1.3 doing 60% daily right now.
Man, well, congrats on that, man. Congrats on that. We're going to try to push in about a week ourselves. And I don't know what the math is. Our alliance leader on the main account, on my big account, he said it's basically everybody's got to get one tech node done. And that gets to 80. Did you think does that sound accurate?
Yeah. So you got to remember, if you're counting nodes, there's that one weird end boss node that each strike team has. It's easy to forget about. You can say, hey, on the partner lanes, there's 5 nodes per origin, or on the other ones, there's 3 nodes, but you have to add in that one extra node when you're doing the math, which does require an extra tech node then to get to that 80%. So I think just ballpark, you need to clear maybe 2 nodes, or excuse me, probably about 4 tech nodes per strike team to hit that 80%. But don't quote me on that, Gideon. It may be 5, it may be 3, but it's in that ballpark.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna find out soon.
Yes, you
We're
will.
gonna find out soon, man. So there's been a lot of debate, in the community. I know, especially again with my newer alliance, we're in Doom. So we're in Doom 1, and there's resistance to building the Bionic Avengers because people are saying, hey man, they're not good for the end game, which is true. They're not good for the end game. So if we're not going to build Bionic Avengers, what? I mean, I guess we're looking at Jegsy here. He's got some ideas. What other characters did you build any extra characters to get to the 1.3?
So no, I used a team similar to what Jegsy's showing here, as well as some very deliberate quit out of nodes once a certain enemy's ability was used and just kind of slug through it. But I think that is a very good question because, right now building Bionic Avengers is painful. They made sure in incursion raids they aren't going to be reliable for very long. They can help, they can do the job a little bit, but I'm hoping that Spider-Man Big Time may be the solution to you guys there, that having him could be enough to allow using the other meta characters without Bionic Avengers in the Doom raids. Because I'm just not sure in Incursion how much you can rely on Bionic Avengers. I mean, at the very first levels they work, but again, 1.3, like I'm having to use Kang, I'm having to use Doom, make sure he can get his ult off. The Bionic Avengers are maybe good for a speed rewind from vision or from the blinds from vision, but there's just not much there. So it's tough because there's not many other good options. But if you get a big Kestrel, I think Shuri being able to give energy potentially to Doom on turn 1 is another great character there. Kang obviously, Doom obviously, Lady Deathstrike's one I've used. Her speed rewind can be very valuable and help there. And so I think that with Spider-Man Big Time, there may be enough options that you could look at skipping Bionic Avengers, but I'm not positive on that. I'm guessing here. So I always want to caveat that type of advice with I'm guessing.
Oh, it's good information. And as you can see here, my guy, looks like he's making a switch. But so I pushed back. I'll just tell you what's happening. I pushed back. Look at Tyler.
Congratulations.
Oh man, Tyler, nice job, brother.
She's old, but Kestrel's going nowhere. She is amazing. So that is a great poll.
Agreed. So I'll try to give you my perspective. So on the newest account, on the baby account, again, the Bionic Avengers, they crush Doom. So I just want to caution. Sometimes there's things people say, and it's advice for the end game, and that might not be where you are. So for Doom, I mean they're made for Doom 3, so they annihilate Doom 1 easily. But I get the apprehension and wanting to invest in the characters. Like you said, I don't want to force anything. That's right, because when Scopely's trying to force you to do stuff, it doesn't feel good. You don't want to play. So we're trying not to force people to have to build stuff. So I think that was the consensus, is if you have Kang, if you have Shuri, if you have Kestrel, to build those 3. I can't remember off the top. Oh, Doom was the 4th one. That was a caveat. Everybody's not going to have them super early, but some people have made their way through Dark Dimension 4 and have a Doom. So, and then you have to build another character, a 5th of your choice. And like you said, maybe it's Big Time. Maybe Big Time is just the key, and you could kind of run with that 5, and that'll get it. We got Jack.
And I'll say, and you probably know this, Gideon, but like in Doom, those characters doing Doom maybe 6 months a year ago, the Kestrel, the Shuri, before Kang was around, they really did not work very well. Again, you could slug through it, but now with Kang, with maybe Big Time, and also with level 95 and just the ability to have those characters stronger than we did a year ago, I'm hoping that that's a feasible option.
Agreed. So what happened? I wasn't looking. So our guy looks like he reset. And that's what happens when you're big time like that. You could just drop 100 cores. But it looked like, see, even the big dog struggle, man. Looks like he reset the node. He's going at it again. So don't feel bad if you're not able to do it. It's just part of the game. It's just part of getting better, getting a strategy down, trying to figure out what the best teams are, the best use, the timing. Like you were saying, maybe I should quit after a certain person uses their ability. I know there's some rebirth. Is that the same one? There's a couple of rebirth members. And so they want to res, or I'm thinking about a different node.
Yeah, the first tech node in Incursion, the second wave that drops has those 2 Iron Fist World War II, and they can both revive the Captain America World War II and the Union agent. I can't think of his name. The fifth guy there on that team, U.S. agent. Thank you. So, you get them down in that first wave, and then I always quit when those next 2 pop, and usually after Captain Sam uses his ultimate, just to get that out of the way too. So that when I start back up and they do their alts, they can't revive those guys. It's just too painful.
You took all that time to beat him down. Don't want to see him come back.
Just to get him back. Yep.
Outstanding. Was there anything else you wanted to cover, KT?
Well, man, one other thing, again, getting to know you, and I think especially with some of your alliance mates here, if you don't mind sharing, and you don't have to, but I'd love to ask you, like, what's one thing you'd want your audience to know about Gideon XL?
Something to know about Gideon XL. I don't think I made a label for that one.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Put you on the spot. Straight up, is I'm a regular dude, and I think, right, it's probably the same with a lot of you guys out there. I mean, video games are kind of a thing in the world we're living in today. Looks like I gotta stop that video. I'm just gonna keep playing. We'll let it keep playing. Video games are kind of a thing in the world we live in today, and so as grown men, right, we play games. That's okay. It's all right. But you can't let it, like anything else, you can't let it devour your life. You have to have other things to do. So again, I try to make sure that I work on my fitness. I try to make sure I have time for my family. I make sure I take my turn cooking, doing dishes, things like that. We got the doggies, as you probably saw earlier, coming in. So I'm just a regular dude, just like everybody else, just here to enjoy life. And I like Marvel Strike Force. I love Marvel Strike Force. I like the grind. I grew up playing, as you see, probably a couple of my videos. Final Fantasy. Played like almost all of those. Haven't played the most recent one that's out now. There were some tactics games. There was like a Final Fantasy Tactics. There was Tactics Ogre was a game, if you're familiar with that one. Suikoden or Suikoden, I don't know how to say it, but just like this is okay. Little extra point. We keep going on and on. I have a buddy who same way. I mean, and this dude is regimented, man. This dude is like he's not military, but like that's his mindset. Like he works out religiously. He runs, right? He's also a officer on our local fire department. He's a lieutenant. His crew is legit. There's some horses, man. But he plays games, and he got all 108. If you ever played Suikoden or Suikoden, I don't want to say it. There's 108 characters to collect. You only can play 6 at a time. You only need 6. He went and got all 108 and maxed them out.
It's dedication.
Maximum. And showed me a screenshot. So, that's a little bit about Gideon XL, man. That's the cats that I hang around with. That's what we like to do. And it's just good times.
Appreciate you sharing, man. You seem like a really good dude, and good to get to know a little more about you. So thank you.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. So hey, we got Jack. He's showing one more. We'll give Jack one more. Chrono Trigger. Did you ever play that one?
I did not. I've heard of those games, but I haven't played any of those. I played a lot of Final Fantasy. Definitely the same there.
Hey, Chrono Trigger is also a deep cut, man. For sure. But hey, we appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. 100%. Thanks for supporting it. We're going to see if we can keep doing this. keep. Maybe we can even find some other guests. Maybe we can get some of y'all on here, man. It'll be good. So just keep gaming, guys. Just keep playing. Just keep having fun. KT, anything you got to say?
I think that's about it. If you guys are interested, feel free to check me out on YouTube. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Always check those and try and respond back to everyone there, however I can help. And Gideon, just again, thank you for having me. I love talking Marvel Strike Force. My wife only likes hearing so much about it. So great to have someone else to talk through, hear their opinion on some theory, and just really enjoyed this. So appreciate you, man.
100%, man, 100%. So yeah, we're going to put a link in the description, but you make sure you go and subscribe to KT if you haven't already. And hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Stay happy, man. Take care of your family.
Hey, peace. Gideon, I'm sorry, but a real quick shout out. Just saw Pathfinder joined us here.
What? Big brother Pathfinder?
Yeah.
Oh my word. What? To what? Now we can't stop. Now we can't stop. To what do we owe this awesomeness, big brother Pathfinder? How are you doing, my man? Oh my goodness.
It's a nice surprise. Us little dogs have a big dog here show up, huh?
Little dogs have a big dog showing up. That's how mine are. They just bark at the fence at the
You got it.
Normal sized cats. Oh man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, Gideon, been an absolute pleasure, bud. And it was fun. I'm happy to do this again anytime with you. Again, I enjoyed talking about this, and can't thank you enough for having me.
No problem, brother. Likewise, the pleasure was all mine. So once again, hopefully you guys enjoy your life, man. Be cool and take it easy. Peace.
Yeah.
Woo. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, that was great. That was a lot of fun. You were, I'm sure you had your hands busy switching back and forth, but I think that went pretty well, all things considered. That was really cool.
Man, I'm glad we got the tools now, man. Tech keeps going. Like I said, man, all that stuff on with Twitch and OBS and download this and then overlay it and change the settings to 1.5. But if you put it on 1.6, it'll crash your system. So it's like, man, like, so I'm glad now we got tools that are easier.
That is good. That is good.
Oh,
I'm trying to, we aren't live anymore, right?
I said I hit the end. Are we live still, brothers? I probably had to hit it twice. I didn't. We're still live. You're in the after party. We're still live. You're in the after party. All right.
So
this
funny.
is not a Patreon exclusive. So I'm still learning the tech. You have to click twice because they don't want you to accidentally turn off the broadcast.
First one, man. This is hilarious. This is the way it should go.
Woo. Cold cuts. All right, I'm going to try to stop it for real this time.
Hey, thanks.